Hello, my friends. This is the podcast that brings the wealth of knowledge, expertise, and fun of Twin Smoke Shop, New England's premier smoke shop, right to you, wherever you are, whenever you want it. And that's not just blowing smoke. You can find us at our website, notjustblowingsmoke.com, and be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Not Just Blowing Smoke.
Cool breeze in my head, bittersweet smoke flying through the air. It's the way I feel, smoking on a fat cigar.
All right, that was Jeff Pitchell's Fat Cigar, everybody, and that means it's time for Not Just Blowing Smoke. Coming at you live from Twin Smoke Shop's studio headquarters here in Londonderry, New Hampshire. I'm Pastor Padron. I'm here with my co-hosts, Nick O'Teen and
he was gonna
Dave
say Nick the
and
Nasty.
Confused. Yep.
He was going to say it.
We've got a show for you tonight. We are smoking this. This just arrived at stores in the last week or so.
It's a cigar.
The Red Anchor
And it's brown.
Gunner.
Good observation.
Gunner.
The Gunner.
The Gunner.
Yes, most cigars are brown. I'm glad you know that.
It's very small. It's a skinny cigar. It's not a
Yeah,
Lanzo.
it's a 43 ring gauge.
It's not a Lanzo, but
43 ring gauge.
whoa.
Can't tell us.
Six and a,
No,
it's
a long still, isn't it?
yeah, it's a Lonsdale, I would say.
Lonsdale.
6.5 by 43. It's got an Ecuadorian Habano wrapper and Dominican from Monte Planta
Okay. Say
binder.
that. Say that 10 times
And
fast.
Dominican and Pennsylvanian fillers.
Interesting. So it should have some flavor.
It should have some flavor. It should have some zip. And this is a cigar that has a long history. Last year, it celebrated its 250th
year. Yeah.
since it was brought about. It was originally a cheap Dutch tinned cigar.
Really?
Yep. And
Not anymore. You're going
yep.
to pay for this guy.
it started back in 1770. That's 10 years older than my house.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah.
And not by much.
Not by much.
But after, by the time the 1920s rolled around, things were getting tough with taxes and everything. And in March 1937, the brand went defunct, and United Cigars brought it back. And interestingly enough, connected it with a Dutch family that migrated to the Dominican Republic and still lives there and farms their tobacco and has their own factory. And so this is produced in Hendrik Kellner Jr.'s boutique factory in the Dominican Republic.
Does he make any other cigars?
I would think he
that
does.
name sounds familiar.
I believe he does. But he wanted to do this in a over-the-top fashion.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we have here is a high-end. This cigar, the Gunner, goes for $20 at MSRP. The Robusto is also $20, and the Captain, which is a Toro,
Yes.
is $25.
Yes.
What about the Admiral?
Oh, the Admiral's a 660.
And the Commodore? No, it's a 656.
Okay. And the Commodore?
Is 7 by
Is that the Churchill?
50 something. I got it right here.
Do you?
Mm-hmm. Where?
Okay, well,
Anyways.
moving on.
While Dave tries to find that.
What are we pairing with this, Nick?
We are pairing Yellowstone single malt. So Yellowstone is really kind of known for their whiskeys, and their whiskeys are really great. But this one I wanted to do the single malt. I think I've had this cigar before, and it was kind of a medium body, really interesting flavors. I didn't have this size. I had the Robusto, and it was some really interesting flavors there. So I was like, all right, well, we got to have something, but not too over the top. Bourbon was kind of our first, you know what I mean, our first choice in the matter. Mm-hmm. But I was like, the bourbon, probably maybe a little bit too strong. And I've had this Yellowstone single malt at other tastings, not here. I know we just had the tasting a couple Tuesdays ago. Yep. And from my understanding, it went really well. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it. But I already had this, and I thought it was amazing. I mean, for this bottle, you can go to the liquor store, any New Hampshire liquor store, and grab it. It's readily available, and it's wonderful. So I was like, we need to have this. I think this will go really well.
Okay.
So the Yellowstone single malt, it's made by, drum roll please. Do we have drum roll? Oh, drum roll, all right. It's going to be Limestone Branch Distillery in Kentucky, Lebanon, Kentucky. And it says, like any other member of our family, hey Sean, how are you? Yellowstone American single malt whiskey stems from previously established roots. Nearly everything we've perfected across 7 generations of distilling presents itself in this bottle. Much like the park for which it is named, this whiskey is uniquely American icon, one worthy of revisiting. So it's 101 proof, 54 alcohol by volume. Tasting notes on it are going to be cereal malt and honey with a hint of peach blossom. The body is going to be sweet, medium body with notes of honey, pear, stone fruit, which is going to be great for the pipe tobacco, and dates. The finish is going to be notes of oak with hints of cinnamon and English walnuts. I didn't know the English had their own walnuts. So that's kind of the drink. I mean, if we can taste any of that stuff, that'd be great. I don't know. But I hope to get something out of it.
Well, as far as the cigars, there are 2 other Vitolas.
Yeah.
There's the Cooper, which is 4.5 by 43, and the Commodore, which is 7 by 55.
So Churchill. Technically.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So, Danny, right out of the gate, man, what do you think right out of the gate? I mean, for me, first initial cold draw, first initial smell, the feel, the look. I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, I got like a centimeter in, and I mean, the burn line is really on point, lit really well. The draw was up to par. I mean, is exactly what kind of draw that I'm looking for out of a Longsdale. A lot of times when you're going to a smaller ring gauge, in my opinion, in the ones that I've experienced in Lanceros and Longsdales and stuff like that, you kind of get a tough draw because of the tobacco is tightly packed. But this one is actually doing pretty damn good. What do you think?
Yeah, the draw is good. My burn is a little bit funny right now, but it looks like it's correcting itself. I don't really hold that against a cigar. It's a man-made, product.
Yeah.
There's going to be little imperfections. I'm not anal about having my, unlike Kaz, who needs to be correcting his cigar every few seconds with his lighter.
That happens.
I just want to let it go and see what happens.
Yeah.
I get a lot of cedar, leather, wood from the cigar. There's some sweetness there. It's got a little bit of a mustiness
Yes.
to it. And with the whiskey, it brings out those woody, cedary notes and the sweetness of the wood.
Yeah.
I haven't had the pairing yet.
You should try it.
It's very nice. It does have a bit of a bite to it.
The cigar or the whiskey?
The whiskey.
Yeah.
Now, if you let that kind of whiskey burn, sit for a minute on your tongue, you get a lot of those flavors that they were talking about.
Yes.
To me, especially that honey sweetness.
Yep.
And that honey sweetness really complements the cigar. If you so this is something where you sip it and you really kind of enjoy the flavors after 1 or 2 seconds, and then it kind of hangs.
He has a long finish.
That's where you want to take a puff of your cigar and see how it goes with the whiskey. So I'm actually really enjoying it. There's some spice in the retro too, from that Pennsylvania tobacco.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. And so far so good. I'm enjoying the cigar.
Yeah. It's got I get some nice mild spice in the retro hail. It is very creamy, and it's like this really smooth, delicate cedar with some spice to it, with maybe some earth. That's what I get from it. I haven't had the pairing yet because I just wanted to
Yeah, sure.
Appreciate the cigar.
appreciate before I destroy my palate with this.
Well, I don't think
Not destroy my palate. But
look, I don't think it's gonna.
Palate.
I mean, and
Change your palate is legit. Yes.
drinking that,
Oh, it's a nice nose.
it is. It's got a really nice
It's
nose.
a very sweet.
Yeah, that's the honey and the
Yeah.
cherry
It's like-
blossoms. Did I say cherry blossoms
You
in
did
there?
say cherry blossoms.
Cherry
It's
Peach
one of those
blossom.
things.
Peach
I'm
blossom.
sure that there are people who, that's cherry blossom. I get
Yeah.
that. But what I want to know is, how do they know what a cherry blossom tastes like?
Isn't it just a
smells
flower?
It's like-
probably what
smell?
it smells like.
So it's like,
smells like it tastes.
well, that would be in the nose.
Yeah.
And
I
and
The
it's
nose,
got a
nose.
very pretty flowery kind
Yeah,
of,
floral note there.
note there to the nose.
Mm.
It's very, very nice.
And I mean,
it's just as good as the whiskey itself.
yeah.
Just giving it the
And it's a single malt. It's not like a straight whiskey. These guys are making American single malts.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a few other companies, American-made companies that are dipping their feet into the single malt barrel, the single malt, alcohol game. I mean, the Scott's been doing it for God knows how long, and they've been doing it for a very long time, and they're very good at it.
Oh yeah,
So,
very sweet.
yeah.
Doesn't
But
it bring out the sweetness of the
Yes, it
cigar?
yeah, with these guys, I mean, when you drink it, you don't even think. If you close your eyes, I mean, if you gave this to somebody that loves Scotch and you said, "Here, just drink this,"
I'm
I
tempted
think
to dip my tip in.
don't dip your tip in
Don't
there.
dip your tip.
Don't dip your tip.
Don't
Just
ever
a
say
tip.
that on air again.
Don't dip your tip in there.
Just a tip.
Just a tip.
I
No.
said don't say that on air.
No, he just said just a tip, not dipping his tip. But anyways,
There we go again.
but yeah, I mean, you give this to somebody that's a Scotch drinker, and I mean, I think personally, they'll be like, okay, this is a pretty good Scotch. It's not a Glenfiddich 21 or a Macallan 20 or whatever. But I mean, for them, for a whiskey company that start making single malt, I think this is a pretty damn
really
good drink.
It's a very, very good whiskey.
And it's 108 proof. I mean,
There is a little thing to that. I was
yeah,
gonna
but it
say,
doesn't drink like 108.
It does if you take a sip and do the Kurt thing, where you chew it and mix it with your saliva, and you just feel.
Oh
the
wow,
burn.
that's a nice.
Feel the burn.
I don't get the burn from there, but I mean, I just did. But I get the flavors kind of flatten out a little bit more, and you can kind of get more of the flavor in there. And Danny's smoking his glasses, so I'm gonna do the same, and we're gonna have a jolly old time, aren't we, Danny?
Yep. The cigar definitely produces a lot of smoke too, which is nice.
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
There we go. Yeah.
I think the cigar actually brings out some of those floral notes,
Just roll it around.
and we'll call it the cherry blossom.
The cherry
Since that's
blossom.
what it brings out the cherry blossom in the bourbon there.
I blossom.
I will. Mm-hmm. You agree?
Oh, it's a totally different dynamic.
Yeah.
Oh my
Completely
god.
different. It's really good.
Yeah, that floral note is
Tornado.
big.
Didn't it bring out the floral note?
Right at the end.
Yeah.
Right at the end. That's big.
Mm-hmm. And
That's
look
nice.
I don't know if you saw the burn that was happening on the cigar earlier.
Yeah.
It was really,
It was a little wonky.
it was a little, and it's really correcting itself.
Well, that's
So-
that's the thing about cigars, and I see this all the time, and I see a lot of people doing this, and they're going and they're etching up their cigar, and they have their two lighters, they have the soft flame to start it, and then they have the single jet to kind of touch it up and stuff like that. And I used to do that. I used to do that a lot. And a friend of mine, I haven't seen in a while, he told me one important thing: you light it.
Shut up.
There's no need. No, there's no that too. He told me that a bunch of times, but he's told me, don't touch it up. It'll correct itself. You just let it be.
most of the time,
most of the time it does. I mean, if you have a really crazy canoe going on,
I had like a little teardrop going down there, and I let it go, and now it's
Yeah.
like a perfect line.
just let it go. If you guys if anybody watching this show has learned anything, let the cigar
Let
be.
it be.
Let it be. It'll
Let it
correct
be.
itself. It's fire. The fire always wants to do something, and it'll correct itself, man.
Fire always wants to do something.
It always wants to
Have you
burn
noticed
something.
that?
Burn.
It always wants to burn something. So just let it be.
Oh,
And it'll burn the tobacco the correct way.
oh. Well, we just had an incredible event last week with Justo Aroa,
Justo.
who came and actually cooked paella
That was a good
for
dinner.
us. That was a great dinner, and did it right here on the premises with a. Can we call it a paella grill? I mean, that's basically
It
what
is.
was
That's
for,
technically what it is.
yeah. And it was awesome watching that get cooked, and basically this
Did
huge,
it look like the picture?
huge? Yes.
Yeah, it did.
Only it was bigger,
It was huge.
Wow.
and it fed about 40 people.
What?
Yeah.
it
Was that all
amazing.
seafood?
It was.
It had seafood in it, but I mean, it had mussels, it had shrimp, chicken, rice. It had
Sausage.
sausages, chorizo. It had
Chorizo?
yes, it did.
What's
And
chorizo?
chorizo is
Chorizo.
like spicy sausage.
Spicy
Yeah,
sausage?
that's what I meant by the
Spicy
sausage. It was the
sausage.
Yeah,
chorizo.
it had peppers in there, it had onions, and I mean the way Edgar cooked it. I mean, holy Jesus, it was
Edgar
cooked
and-
to
yeah.
perfection.
Edgar and Justo you kind of had to. It was good that they tag teamed it.
Yeah,
They
because
did,
it sounds
yes.
like you
So
had
big.
to because it was so huge.
Yeah.
It sounds
Yeah.
like it was
Edgar
big, huge.
Edgar was
Well, yeah, it
bowl.
was like a 30 inch,
yeah.
30, 40 inch.
Edgar was
tin.
stirring it while Justo was chucking stuff into it.
Yeah,
It was.
I mean, it was so
great.
good.
I'm not that big of a seafood person. That's why I was kind of like, man.
No,
I
it
know,
was really
but
good.
look, I'm not a seafood guy either. But I mean,
With all the
I
other
ate-
stuff in there, it sounds awesome.
I mean, with everything that they put in there and cooking it low and slow for what?
An
They
hour.
did it for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you couldn't taste any type of seafood in there. I mean, the mussels were great.
Yep.
The shrimp was amazing. The chicken was just tender.
Yeah.
And
fell
the rice,
apart. Fell
yeah.
apart in your
Oh
mouth.
my God, it was so
Sounds
great,
awesome.
man. I'm
I
gonna
wish
have
I stopped by.
I'm gonna have him come over to my house and cook food for me.
Justo did a great talk about the authentic corojo that they grow there, and how that really separates his company from everybody else.
Yeah.
And we kind of tasted we smoked a cigar that uses the Corojo 99 hybrid, and smoked it alongside one of his.
Yep.
And again, not in a way that was like bashing the one cigar, but to just let you see the difference in the flavors that you get when you are using the plant that is not hybridized with other tobacco plants. And it really does make a big difference. It's something that sets them apart.
Yes.
And that was awesome. And so I can't even believe that September is right around the corner.
I know. What,
Summer
Friday?
is
Friday is
over.
September 1st. I can't even believe it.
Oh, that's
and,
terrible. So terrible.
You know,
For those listening, the episode will come out on the 3rd, 4th. 1, 2,
Yep.
3, 4th.
mhm.
Okay.
So September 9th is Pipe Club again. And that's going to be a fun time, 12 to 4 at the Londonderry store. If you're into pipes or smoking pipes or want to learn about it or want to meet other people who are into it, it's a great place to come.
For sure.
And
The place to come.
It is the only
we'll have
place you
somewhere
can go.
between a dozen and 20 people there. And coming into September, we're coming into pipe season.
Oh, yeah.
People
Thought-
come out of the woodwork.
Thought pipe season was every season, baby.
Pipe season is every season to me. Every season is pipe season. There's no bad time to have a pipe.
No.
Although I have to
Especially
admit,
when you're-
when it's colder and you got that warm pipe in your hand.
I mean,
That's
when the
just-
snow is falling and you got your smoking jacket on
Mm-hmm.
and you're standing or sitting in 2 feet of snow.
Yep.
Yeah, man. That's
And-
just, and it's snowing, big snowflakes. That's beautiful.
With my fur-lined hey dudes. Yep.
Yeah.
Your what?
I don't know
Your
what he just said.
fur-lined hey dudes.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
I don't think
dudes.
anybody knows.
Your
what that
fur-lined cowboy
dudes.
boots?
Hey dudes.
Educate us, please.
Hey dudes?
I
I just don't know.
What? Are you talking about shit kickers?
I don't watch TikTok, Dave. What
No,
is
it's not
this?
TikTok, man. It's friggin'. So, hey dudes are a very popular form of moccasin that are made by Crocs,
Whoa.
and they're like they have the same squishy comfort level as a $120 pair of Nikes, but they go anywhere from like $40 to $60.
So not that good.
So no, they are that good. That's why it's freaking awesome. It's like, because Crocs they're wicked comfortable. Like them or hate them, they're still comfortable regardless of what your feeling is on the Crocs.
I suppose.
But aside from that, so they they make winter ones too that are like fur-lined moccasins. But like these are Hey Dudes, but these are more sneakers,
I see.
you know. But they make they're famous. The shoes I always wear, Dan. Those are Hey Dudes.
Why am I not surprised that David wears Hey Dudes on his feet?
But it's like more than half of our customers wear Hey Dudes.
Really?
It's like I can
Where?
see Dave talking
Hookset
to
or
his
here?
kids. Hey dudes, where are my Hey Dudes?
But
I could see.
I
Dave
mean, the
saying
company started off in California, so there you go. There's the name. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, September 14th and 15th, we have Drew Estate doing events
Yep.
at the stores. The 14th in Hooksett, the 15th at Londonderry, and there'll be all sorts of special things and special swag that's going to be available for those, and you'll have opportunity to get in on our monthly allocation of Liga Privada at the event. The swag I can't tell you about because I don't know what it is. They have not made an announcement. I'm not even allowed to know what it is. It will be announced by Drew Estate at the end of the month.
Oh god.
A worldwide announcement of the swag for the rest of the year will be made at the end of August.
It's gonna be, not to bash on Drew Estate, but it's gonna be the Traveler. You get cigars. You get the cigar sleeve, all in a different color than it was last year. And again, I'm just speculating.
Well, I don't know. We got the M81 guitar ashtray. That was pretty freaking awesome.
that
Was it? I didn't see that one. I wasn't around
Oh,
last year for that.
Yeah, we got a guitar ashtray that was, because it was the Metallica cigar.
Yes.
So we had that. That was pretty
Yeah.
awesome.
Cool. Very cool.
It will be very different.
It'll be like a H99 ashtray this year. Probably.
No.
Danny was really slow on the uptake on that.
Yeah, no. It's I kind of know what it is, but I'm not allowed to say it.
Oh, so you do know what it is.
I do know what it is.
Would you sign a non-disclosure?
Yeah, basically, yes.
Basically?
I was made to promise
Upon
that I would
penalty
not
of donating your
say
beer to
anything.
Cancer Society.
Danny would.
Nothing
I mean,
goes that far, Dave.
I have.
I don't
have,
donate my beer to anybody
I
but
have
me.
pictures. I have pictures of Danny without a beard, and
So do I.
I don't know if I ever
very
want to see
weird.
that again.
Well, it's funny. My kids say the same thing. Now, September 16th is. You want to know what it is?
I would love
It's
to.
fall. It's Beer Fall Fest at 603 Brewery.
Whoa!
And
We're doing
gonna
our show?
we're gonna be there.
Yeah.
We are?
Well,
Yeah.
Twins is.
Oh,
Oh,
why is it not just blowing smoke?
Well, maybe
Knock on wood. You owe me a Coke, bro. Could we make that happen?
It's possible.
I mean,
It's possible.
is it Dave, right? The owner? Dave?
Dan.
Dan. I
It
keep
should be easy.
Jesus.
It's my name, Dan.
I know,
Yeah,
but I
I
keep
know.
thinking it's
Come on.
Dave, but it's not
That's
Dave.
Dave.
Dan, I'm sorry,
What day
brother.
is
Dave
I'm
looks
sorry,
like
man.
he enjoys beer, but not like he owns beer.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree with that.
So
So what day is it?
it's Saturday the
16th.
16th.
Saturday. Oh,
It's going to be
usually
Fall
my day
Fest at
off,
the
so there we go.
603 Brewery. So you can come by, see our tent there, get
I-
a cigar, say hi.
I really
We're gonna-
hope
we're
it's
gonna be
not
there.
45, raining and windy
No,
this
if
time.
it's-
right.
if
Oh
the
my
weather
God.
is bad, we're not doing it.
If the weather's bad, we're gonna set up inside this time.
If the weather is bad,
Just open the window.
it'll be not just flowing smoke.
Yeah,
If the weather's
right?
good, it'll be
be
twins. All right. And then the following week on the 23rd, it's the Manchester Beer Fest in Manchester, and we're going to have a booth
Yes.
there too. So make sure you come by and see us. If you're going to either of those events, stop by, say hi. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's what's going on in September at Twins.
A lot of fun.
There you go.
Yeah, baby.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
All right.
What do you guys think of the cigar so far?
I think it's brown.
Obviously.
I get it's got like this really creamy cedar with some nice baking spice to it.
I dig it. I dig it. I dig it. The cedar spice definitely gets some nice wood character out of it. Get some. I don't know if it's just me. Get some really nice kind of the grittiness and out of it. It's weird. I guess it's
Gritting.
yeah.
What do you mean?
Probably just a lot of earth that's coming through now that it's progressing about halfway through and with the drink. Just gritty. There's some nice sweetness in there that I'm really enjoying. And it's It's really, really good. Now, full disclosure, obviously I said this before, I had the Robusto, and the Robusto,
What do you like better?
this size for sure. I mean, this size utilizes all of the wrapper and binder and filler. Definitely to 100% utilizes it. I mean, the Robusto was good, but nothing this good. I mean, this by far is, I would probably have to say, the best size in the lineup. And again, most lines are when they're in this size.
Yeah. Yep. It's a great size, and it's, dollars and donuts. This will be the size that moves the least.
I know, which is crazy, but
But
I mean, that's
Because everybody's like, oh, I want a bigger cigar.
well, yeah. Everybody relates to they're gonna look at the price point because these cigars are not $12. They're not $15. They're $20 plus.
That's like, but the price point, I don't know. I think the price point for the Vitola size like this helps just because of the fact that usually people that are willing to drop $20 on a cigar care about the flavor.
Of course they do. But that's what I'm saying. Like, they do care about the flavor, and we're going to have, as tobacconists, we're going to have to do some convincing to the people that come in and look at it and be like, well, why am I going to spend $20 on a skinny cigar when $22 I can get 660 or the Churchill or, you know what I mean, the Robusto's, what, 1950 or something like that. Like, we're, as tobacconists, we have to have the skill to be like, look, they're great. The other ones are great. But you want flavor. You want the most bang for your buck. And this is the one that you want. And granted, I only had the Robusto. I haven't had the 660. I haven't had the Churchill or the other sizes and stuff like that.
655.
Right, the 655, whatever. But this is going to be the one.
52. 6 by 52.
Okay. Yeah, you get your Toro or whatever. But I mean, this is the size that you're going to have to convince people. You're going to have to do a little work. You're going to have to be a little bit of a salesman. And you're going to have to do some convincing and let people
now that
know.
we've had it, we know that it's what it is.
Absolutely.
It'll be easier. All right. How about we do a little 724 flashback?
Flashback.
The 724 Flashback is a weekly segment highlighting historical events brought to you by 724 Cigars. Smoke a piece of history. Absolutely. And on this day, 60 years ago to the day,
You were born?
that's no, I was not born yet.
No, he was
This goes
February.
back a little bit before my life started. August 28, 1963, Martin Luther King gave the I Have a Dream speech
Oh, that's big.
at the Lincoln Memorial
That's big.
in Washington, D.C. That was the culmination of the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom, one of the largest civil rights walks in history. 250,000 people were there.
Yep.
And so here you have one of the largest, significant marches in American history, followed by one of the most iconic speeches in American history, too, by Martin Luther King Jr.
That would probably have to be. I mean, there's been some serious speeches. I mean, JFK,
Yep.
Martin Luther King, of course. I mean, what other one could you hold up there, or would you rank up
the
there?
Emancipation Proclamation, Abraham
Yep.
Lincoln's, that
Yeah.
would be up there.
That was.
But
Yep.
I think I Have a Dream is probably, in my book, it's got to be, it's definitely in the top 5,
Yeah.
and I'd say it's in the top 1 or 2. It's either 1 or 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Be interesting. Be really interesting to see as far as the internet is concerned, where that would be ranked. I know there's some really good speeches out there, but it'd be really interesting where Google or where, Yahoo or whatever ranks that particular speech of Martin Luther King.
I thought it was interesting that 60th anniversary today, that speech.
Wow.
Not just a day in history, but an important thing. And it's kind of funny. I haven't been all over the news, but I haven't seen anybody talk about it. Like,
No.
it hasn't come across my news feed that
I mean,
not that it's the greatest feed, on my laptop when the internet comes up. I got news coming by.
yeah, you have
It's
your
not
algorithm.
normally where I would go and look for news, but stuff goes by, and
Yeah.
that was not mentioned at all. And I think that's
No, they're not
think
going to
that's too
mention
bad.
it. I mean, it's sad because they should be mentioning it because it's an unbelievable speech, and it's the turning point of America as far as racism in
Civil
America
rights,
and the
yep.
civil rights and everything like that. But I mean, which is sad, but Trump is getting indicted and he's got to go to court, and he took that mug shot and everything like that. So every news outlet in the world is trying to cover that, which is crazy because, well, we can go deep on it, but I won't go there.
Shot up and was selling shirts and mugs.
Oh, my
and
God.
everything. And within less than like a few days, he already raised $7.1 million
Yeah,
from that website.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if all that money is going to go to Hawaii. Hey!
So they actually get some money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, when they
some
announced that,
people don't think it's that important.
I mean, when they made the announcement that every family is going to receive a
$700.
whopping $700
Yeah.
for each
Ooh.
family member,
Wow.
not family member, for each family
That's life changing in Hawaii.
for aid, and it's like, what?
They might be able to buy some mac and
$700? They might be able to
Thanks.
buy a box of white label Rocky Patels or something. I don't know. You know, no offense to Rocky and the white labels; they're good
that
cigars, but I'm
doesn't
just
help you
saying.
with any expenses. Right
No, it doesn't. I mean, like that. I mean, hopefully they kind of
What are those nuts in Hawaii?
what?
The Hawaiian peanuts? What do they call the
Hawaiian peanuts.
Yeah, what-
Macadamia nuts.
Macadamia nuts.
Oh,
Yeah, you
my
can buy a
God.
bag of
Hawaiian
macadamia-
peanuts.
Yeah.
Those nuts in Hawaii.
macadamia nuts.
All right.
I was gonna say
Dave.
macanudo, but that's not it.
Oh my God, Dave, you're a gem, bro.
What
You're a gem.
What are our final thoughts on The Gunner
It's
by
disgusting.
Red Anchor?
It's disgusting.
Yeah. It's
No,
really
it's
good.
a good smoke. It's a good smoke. Honestly,
It's very
truly,
good.
honestly, it's a good smoke. It's it's got some really
elegant.
nice, unique flavors in it. It's a really pleasant smoke.
And again, the cigar totally corrected itself.
Bingo bongo.
Perfect burn now. The flavors have been on point. The burn's been good. I love the oily sheen on the wrapper here.
Yep.
And so it's great to hold. It feels good in the hand.
Yeah.
I love the way it feels in the mouth, and
What she said.
it's silky. It's silky smooth.
It is. It's silky smooth,
and
like
it's
scrappy
got
cocoa.
It's got the delicate flavors to go with it.
Rod says that he's amazed at how many $20 cigars there are being sold now, and I'm like,
It's
Rod,
true.
that doesn't count. Rod, you're in Canada where
Yeah.
everything starts
It
at
starts at
$20.
$20. I mean, it's true in a case where more and more of the market that I see, going through the walk-in and, looking at cigars and looking at cigars online, new stuff that's coming out, is more and more of the industry and more of the companies getting into that 15-plus range. I mean, you don't really want to see it, but I mean, it is there. I mean,
Well, I
it's
think
it's
after-
now and upon us.
after talking to Husto about production costs and
Yeah.
everything going. I mean, I think this is kind of where you're going to see more and more cigars going.
Yeah.
And the $20, the $15 to $20 cigar is, I think, in the next couple of years, not going to be the luxury end. It's going to be more. This is just where it is.
Yeah, it's your run of the mill. It's going to be your run of the mill
I sure
cigar.
hope not.
I mean, the days of having, $5, $8 cigars are slowly dwindling away. I mean, we still have some,
Quickly.
dwindling. Yeah, I mean, there's still some cigars that are coming out that are still, $7, $8, $9. I mean, most of Aladino's profile or portfolio
is right around or under
is
10.
around $8, $9, $10. I mean, you're getting into the $12, $15 range when you're going to the Corojo Reservas and the different sizes and stuff. But I mean,
But wouldn't you say the average, like it?
Oh,
Maybe
definitely
the
the average is over.
the mean price of a cigar is somewhere between 12 and 14.
that's what it is now. I mean, 5,
So
6
20
years
is
ago.
not really all that
Yeah, we're
far
spoiled
off.
No.
with Aladino because they own everything they do,
True.
But even
even at
owning
that.
everything, he told me that his costs have gone up like 20%, and you're going to see. He says it's not just me. You're going to see cigars next year taking a big hike
Big jump. Yeah.
because of costs. It's not, even here you see it in the price of gas. I mean, it went just
Oh.
the gas station across the street went up 30 cents in
Past 2 weeks.
the past 2 weeks.
Yeah. That's crazy. I mean,
It's
everything's
another
going up.
$5 a gallon just to fill up your car.
I'm not even filling up anymore. I'm just going
No,
half.
that-
I'm just going half a tank. That's it, man. I'm going half a tank, and then in my motorcycle, I'm filling up there because it's only 4 gallons. So, you know what I mean. I could do it there, but you know what I mean. The rain and everything, you're getting killed, so you can't ride your motorcycle in the rain. Well, you can, but I don't want to. You know what I mean. So I don't know. It's the whole thing with that is. It's inevitable. I mean, it's absolutely inevitable. There's no stopping it. I mean,
New strains of COVID for everyone.
Yeah.
the Canadian version's coming. That's what they say.
Canuck Corona.
Yeah.
I can just
All
hear
right.
Trump saying that.
I can just hear Rod rolling his eyes. So now we're going to go to the pipe tobacco portion of the show, and in a rare show of form, all three of us brought a tin. I usually bring a tin that everybody can share. This time we all have it. That should tell you something. This came out just last week. It is a brand new small batch blend from Cornell and Diehl, from the brain of
Jeremy Reeves.
who was just on the show a few weeks ago. And it says on the back of the tin, propelled by top-tier Old Belt Red Virginias, enhanced by 2 distinct steaming processes. This innovative small batch blend explores the deep natural sweetness of flue-cured leaf alongside genuine St. James Perique and rare 2005 Black Sea Solcum and other vintage Oriental grades. A whole new world of flavor awaits for discovery. And there are 6 different kinds of Virginia in this blend.
Hallelujah.
And 2 of them are steamed a very long period of time. That makes them black, makes the leaves black.
Brings
So
the
when you
sugar
look-
content up,
when
right?
Yep, it can bring out the sugar content. And then 4 others are steamed for a less period of time. And then there's unsteamed Virginia in here as well as several different Orientals, which are very old and rare, almost 20 years old apiece.
Nice.
It's a
And
plate
Rod
cut.
did roll his eyes, by the way.
Yes.
Thanks, Rod. We appreciate you.
So, again, this just came out last week on the 22nd. What do you guys think? I'm
like
thinking that you like it since all of you bought a tin
Yeah.
and brought it to the show.
It's a fruit basket of love with a bit of spice. It's unbelievable.
Spice and everything nice. I mean, the sweetness, it's complex. The sweetness itself is complex.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get that nice spicy kick right at the end. It's beautiful. They get the little Orientals at the end too.
Mm-hmm.
That's nice. It's very
Yeah, the Orientals are always so good for the retro hail.
beautiful. It's kind of like smoking the American flag, baby.
Smoking the American flag.
That's what America's all
You hear that,
about.
Jeremy?
That's what America's all about.
America.
It's America in a bowl.
Oh,
America.
my gosh.
Yeah. Kaz, if you're watching, I love you, bud. Jeremy, I love you too, man. You're the man. I love you too, buddy.
Wow.
You make some great tobacco.
So,
Or he makes tobacco great.
the reason, I had thought that last week we were going to do a show. I wasn't going to be on the show.
I
because
thought it
was
was
on
going to do a
vacation.
show too.
But apparently the show did not happen because I was on vacation.
That happens.
And people
The
miss
show
each
didn't
other.
happen because I said, "Hey, what are we doing?" And nobody texted me until Nick called me on Monday morning when I had already made plans. So,
So Dave was obviously not looking to
everybody-
do the podcast. 'cause he was making
everybody
plans.
had all weekend to get back to me. Nobody said anything, so that was it.
He's right.
Yes,
He's
he
not
is.
wrong.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong.
I tried.
Well, you got
Just not hard. but I tried.
Exactly. Let's see. Where can I leave a message where people probably won't look?
Let's put it on
work
Slack.
Let's put it on my work chat.
Let's put it on
We're
Slack.
all supposed to communicate.
Where nobody. Hi, Jeff. Hi, Bud.
Yeah, and there you go. But I was on vacation, and it was the first vacation I've taken in a couple of years, and I had several days up in a little town in Vermont. It was on a little pond. We're in a log cabin. It was great. It was, and we were with some friends of ours, Amy and Tyler McGillicat, and it was a great, great time. And one of the best things that I was looking forward to about the whole time was where they're at, where the cabin is. There's no cell service, and you might, if you walk out on the porch and hold your phone.
Oh, you're going to do one of those?
You might find a bar. You might. But there's no, and they have no Wi-Fi there. And that was an intentional thing that they did. They wanted to go and get away there. And I was looking forward to being unplugged for 3-4 days. And and I was concerned because we brought our kids.
Did you get to play Parcheesi?
Nope. We didn't play any Parcheesi.
Any board games?
What we played was let's eat, let's drink beer, and let's smoke pipes and cigars.
The girls did that?
No, not the girls.
I was gonna say.
They did their
They're not
thing, and
old
we
enough.
did our thing.
That's why I was
Jesus.
shocked.
But
I was like, what?
it was just so nice to unplug, and you weren't at your house, so you couldn't be distracted by, I need to do this, I need to do that. Nobody could call you. You couldn't call anybody. You couldn't do it. So you just got to relax.
So who took care of your 5,000 animals?
Well, 2 of the animals came with us. One of my nieces took care of the cat and the birds that were left in the house, and that's it. So I don't have millions of animals.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Every time I go over there, I feel like there's at least 5 birds, 2 cats, a dog or 2, something. It changes all the time.
There's 2 dogs, a cat, and 2 birds. And the birds are finches. They don't really do anything except stay in a cage.
It's finch.
Nope. They just stay in a cage. But what do you guys have you ever unplugged for 3-4 days at a time? Like, can you do that?
I haven't done that in a while.
I have not.
I mean, the place, me and the wife, we haven't went up in about a year, 2 years now. We usually go up to Vermont. We go to Manchester, Vermont. We do Land Rover Day. So we do an owner's day up there. And Land Rover puts on afternoon not an afternoon, it's a whole day thing. So you go in if you're an owner, which I bought my wife a Land Rover a few years ago. So we go up. You already pre-register, so they just check your name and everything. And you kind of get out there and get in line, and you are surrounded by the Green Mountains. It is just amazing. So they reserve, or the property that they have is an old airstrip. So you're out there with, the last time we went up, we had, I think there was probably about 50 or 60 Land Rovers of owners that were there, and it was just a good time. In the morning when you get there, you get in line, you get out for breakfast, and the whole day is off-roading. Then they get you, you stop for lunch, and then they get you back for dinner and stuff like that. But up there, it's very, very, very little of reception up there. So that's kind of like the closest that we've ever been to kind of unplugging, because you can barely get reception up there or whatnot. So like that's the last time. And it's refreshing. At first I thought it was going to be like, I'm not going to be able to watch YouTube, or I'm not going to be able to go on and play games or whatever, and my wife's going to be crazy because she can't go on TikTok or Facebook or whatever. And it was refreshing because it was more intimate time that we spent with each other, talking, going sightseeing. In Manchester, Vermont, they have the outlets there, so we went shopping a little bit and just walking around the restaurants and the nightlife and stuff like that they have there. And it's in the summertime, it's very, It's very beautiful. I mean, it's so really, really nice. And, you know, everybody's really cool up there because most of the time everybody's on vacation up there. So,
Yep.
I mean, it's an awesome place to go. And that was the last time that was kind of unplugged.
One of the places we went when we were up there, Littleton, New Hampshire is about
Yep.
30 minutes from where we were. 30 minutes east. And we went to a candy shop up there. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but what makes it kind of the stop is that it is in the Guinness Book of World Records for holding the world's longest candy counter.
No way.
And everything from penny candy to, you know, the old, you know, candies that you grew up with, like the wax lips,
Oh wow.
stuff like that. They had that. And you know what
Swedish
you know what they had? You know what they had? I bought the last one.
What was it?
It was a box of bubblegum cigarettes.
Oh,
Yeah.
the nostalgia there, huh, baby?
Big nostalgia there. That was big.
My God.
I took a picture of the girls both, you know, blowing the sugar out of the cigarettes.
Yeah.
You know, and
Oh my
that
God.
that was awesome.
I mean, that was
Great time.
when I was growing up. I used to watch. I mean, now my mom doesn't smoke at all, but I mean, when I was a kid, I mean, my God, she used to smoke in the car. She used to smoke in the house, and I mean, she used to smoke all the time, everywhere. And when they had that at the dollar store, not the dollar store, but the corner store, I used to get them for what, 50 cents, 75 cents back then when I was a kid. And I used to get them and pretend that I'm smoking and pretend that, you know, we're cool. We see these guys in the movies smoking cigarettes, and that would be the vibe. And I was like,
yeah.
that was just, and then you get to eat them after, and you're like, all right.
Yeah.
It's like we get the effect without the nicotine poisoning, you
I
know?
do have to admit, you know, that is clear marketing to children.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
I can totally understand that being a no-no, but I had to buy that back.
Of
I
course.
bought the last one, but they had everything there. They had everything. There were 8 different kinds of chocolate-covered coffee beans.
Wow.
Wow.
8 different kinds.
That's a lot.
They had an M&M station, and there was literally 12 different colors of M&Ms. Silver.
Yeah,
That was
silver.
the one that, they had M&Ms that were caramel inside.
Whoa.
It was incredible stuff. And, you know, where it really got, I don't know what the word to use, but
Weird?
like, not weird, but it was like,
Creative?
you know, what really kills you, though, is that you pay for the candy by the pound, right? And so you can take whatever, you know, you want, put it in the bag, and you go up. And my kids all take their stuff, and I bring it all up to the counter. It was $100.
Oh, man.
Like, oh,
That's a lot of candy.
That's a lot of money to spend on candy. You better eat all this candy.
Oh,
This ain't going
God.
bad. This better be gone. You know,
Better hope you got a good dental plan.
after I,
Yeah,
you
right.
know, my heart rate went back down after paying that bill. But you know, we're on vacation. You
gotta spend the money,
You
man.
gotta do it. So we did it, and it was a really, really good time. And I think they just finished the candy the other night. I still have some of the coffee beans. That's what I got. I took samples of all those coffee beans.
Of course you did.
Of course I did.
Man, I remember I was working. Speaking of coffee beans, I had one night when I was doing security in Waltham. I used to do security at the Western. Before the Western got absorbed by, I think, the Marriott or something like that. The Hilton. And I was doing security, and this is back when I used to work over in Plastow. And Maddie was getting cigars from Cafe 1901. So Cafe 1901 is a cigar company, and they also do Cafe coffee. So they sent Maddie these espresso beans. So Maddie had them on this counter, and he wasn't gonna eat them or brew them or whatever. So he gave them to me, and I thought he said they were chocolate covered espresso beans. So one night, it was probably like 2, 3 in the morning. I was so tired, and I'm like, man, I got no energy drinks. I got no pre-workout with me. I got nothing. But I had the coffee in my car. So I thought they were chocolate-covered espresso beans. So I went in and grabbed a handful of espresso beans and just started eating them. I ate like half a bag of 1 pound espresso beans, and they were not chocolate covered.
They were
And
just
they were
espresso
just
beans?
espresso beans. Oh my God. I was up for probably 48 hours, and I was doing overnights. So I did that overnight shift. I went home, couldn't sleep, just couldn't sleep, just worked out, couldn't sleep that whole day, went back to work that night, and still had energy to do an 8-hour shift there at night. I was gone.
Wired for sound.
Oh, I was wired for sound. I was wired to hear Nikola Tesla's fucking experiments, bro. I mean, it was crazy. I'll never do that again. But yeah, yeah, that was my experience with raw coffee beans at one point in time in my life.
What do you
Is
think?
that why you don't like coffee?
No, I drank myself to the point when I was younger. So when I was living at the beach when I was younger, 7, 8 years old, maybe younger,
I was so addicted to coffee.
well, my great grandmother used to brew coffee, and everybody, when we used to live at the beach, and this was before the internet and phones and everything like that. So when I was young, all it was we go out and play in the sand, or we sit down and watch movies while the adults eat, drink, and play cards.
Mm-hmm.
So my
I
great grandmother,
remember that, yeah.
my great grandmother used to just brew coffee, and my mother used to do coffee with Kahlua, and they all used to do the adult things and stuff. So I wanted to be an adult so bad. She used to give me a little shot glass full of coffee, but I thought the coffee was just so nasty. I used to put like 4 teaspoons of sugar in a shot glass of coffee. And I used to drink that all the time for years, and then all of a sudden I was just like, nope. I don't want to do it I don't want that anymore. Like, my body completely rejected it. Every time I drank it, I shit my brains out, and it's just nasty. So I was just like, nope, I'm done with it. So I haven't drank coffee since then. Like, I'll have a taste of my wife's coffee in the morning when I brew it and for her and everything, but other than that, I will not have a full cup of coffee. I just don't want, just no.
Well, we know you're a whiskey guy.
I'm-
What do you think of this pipe tobacco and the Yellowstone single malt?
Well, I think it's,
I thought the pipe tobacco did a lot to the whiskey.
yeah.
I'm not sure how much the whiskey did for the pipe tobacco, but
Well-
it changed. It changed the whiskey if you smoke the glass in a big positive way.
It's like bursting with flavor. It's just like bam.
I mean, it kind of calms down. It calms the whiskey from when I was smoking with the cigar with the whiskey, or with the single malt, I should say. It had that interesting bite at the end, and it had the long finish. Now with the pipe tobacco, it doesn't have that bite. It just has the long finish, and it is just very complex. You still get the sweetness. You still get the kind of I was going to say Orientals, get the Orientals from the tobacco, but you still get that almost that floral note in that whiskey, and then the tobacco kind of complements everything that you're getting there, and it's just
Yeah,
Pretty spectacular.
I think the whiskey brings out the floral notes in the tobacco,
yeah.
and it really made this kind of caramely sweetness with the whiskey, and it was just really, and it did. It took away some of the bite. Very, very interesting how that interacted.
Oh yeah.
both ways.
And that's, Dave, that's why I love doing the show when it's kind of like almost a blind pairing that we don't know what we're drinking. And don't get me wrong, I mean, we have over 150 different alcohols to choose from up here. And Kurt, if you're watching, we thank you very much for hosting the show and allowing us to drink your alcohol. We appreciate that greatly. I do, especially. But, I mean, it's nice to do a blind pairing like that, because then you have to put your taste buds in the overdrive, and you have to really kind of pick and choose and see what works and what doesn't. And I love that. And we need more of that. I mean, it's boring when you have something that you kind of know what it is, and because you're already anticipating that. It's like, for me, how I look at that is like anticipating your shots in when you go to the range, and it's like, all right, you already kind of know what's going on. But when you're surprised by a shot, you become a better shooter. Just like in this, when you don't know and it surprises you, you become a better tobacconist. Your palate becomes better because you have to rely on it and you have to be like, okay, well, it's not what I was expecting, and you got to focus on it a little bit more.
Experience is the best teacher.
There you go.
Yep.
Bye, Ron.
As you well know, Dave.
Yep. Yep. I know more of what not to do than what to do. Absolutely true.
I'm there with you, brother.
That's probably true with most of us.
Absolutely.
Well, this tobacco is very complex. It's got a nice depth of flavor. It's amazing how those steamed Virginias, whether the ones that are steamed longer, the ones that are steamed shorter, the unsteamed Virginias, they all add to this complexity. And then you throw in a little of that Perique and the little spice from the Orientals there, and you got something really, really unique.
Awesome. Absolutely awesome. Yep. So I was all sad there was no Carolina Red Flake this year.
Oh,
This,
I mean,
I won't even call it a substitute. This is just amazing.
it is.
I am so happy.
And you shouldn't call it a substitute. I mean,
No.
Carolina Red Flake, what makes Carolina Red Flake is like the single malt of Virginia of Virginia blend. It's not a blend
No, this is
of
a
Virginia.
This is a
It's
blend.
red Virginia from the from
North
North and
Carolina,
South Carolina. Boom.
That's
You
it.
know,
yeah.
that's what it is. It's so it shouldn't, maybe you wouldn't think it would work, but it works. And the whiskey here, is a great compliment to this. But that kind of depth of flavor
yeah,
and those strong Virginia notes, they're definitely there.
for sure.
But but I think it's good to let some of these sought after, like the Carolina Red Flake, sit for a while, because otherwise, if they're coming out all the time.
No, I agree, but still, it stinks when you don't have any. And
I mean,
you
we
can't
have
find
tons of it
It's
downstairs.
It's a good thing you work at Twins, Dave.
I know. I
No,
mean,
not Carolina Red Flake.
what?
We don't have any Carolina Red Flake.
You
I'm
don't?
saying I don't have any, and that's why I'm like, I want some Virginia, man. And then he's like, oh, we're coming out with Steamworks, and I'm like, oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure you didn't say that. Pretty sure you're like, where's the Red Flake?
I did.
Where's
I
the
did
Red
say,
Flake?
I'm like, Carolina. Where's
I don't
Carolina?
want Steamworks. I want Red
I
Flake.
didn't say I didn't want Steamworks. or anything else. I said, where's my Virginia? I need more Virginia in my life.
Yeah.
Where is it coming?
Oh, I have news for you, Dave.
I mean,
Yeah.
variety is the
Yeah.
spice of life.
And he said, know your role, Dave. Shut up. Here's Steamworks. And I'm like, oh,
There you go.
thank you.
I mean, it's damn good. I
Awesome.
mean,
I love being wrong.
Jeremy could probably cut off his beard, mix it with some tobaccos, and ship it out, and he can name it Remnants of Jeremy, and still be damn good.
Beard works.
Beard works, and still be delicious. I mean,
Probably burn quick, but yeah.
I don't know. He had a pretty thick beard. I think that would burn kind of slow. So, we got any other questions in there, my
No,
friend?
that's basically it. We're pretty much at the time for tonight.
Sweet.
I got something.
What do you want to share?
You got 3 minutes.
Would you rather? And this may be kind of a no-brainer, but would you rather take a vacation in the Caribbean, or would you take a vacation in the middle of nowhere in a cabin, completely disconnected, kind of like Danny, completely disconnected from the world, in a house or a log cabin on a lake? You can have whatever. You can have a boat with the dock and the fishing rods and whatever. In a situation like that. Now, would you rather?
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah. I might actually just say the Caribbean because I've never been there. I've been to a log cabin that's, isolated.
Mm-hmm.
So I would do the thing I haven't done. However, if it was like the only place I could ever vacation again, I would definitely pick the cabin.
Danny boy. No, you've lived in the Bahamas, right?
No, I've lived in Florida.
Florida.
So that's as close as I've gotten to the Caribbean. My wife was born there. She grew up on St. Croix.
St. Croix. That's
Yeah.
right.
Well, that's farther south than
Yes.
Bermuda.
Yes. If I were going to vacation somewhere, this vacation in Vermont was so damn perfect. I would go back. I would pick the cabin.
You'd pick the cabin.
I'd pick the cabin. Now, where am I going to retire? It's the Caribbean.
That's yeah. I mean,
I can't. I don't think I can give up New England life, man.
but you say that, but you've never been to Puerto Rico or Dominican Republic or any of the
No,
any
it
of the
has to
islands.
do with the fact that I don't want to be in shorts when it's Christmas time.
Have you ever spent Christmas? See, you've never
Palm
been.
trees
I've been in
look
Puerto
very
Rico.
phallic in Christmas time. Okay,
I've been.
I'm all set.
I don't know, man, because I've been in Puerto Rico in December, and it's an interesting scene.
I don't want to see Santa Claus in a bikini. I don't want to see it. I don't know.
Well,
Santa
that
Claus
depends.
does not show up in a bikini. It's not anywhere.
Poor bastard's gonna be
Not
sweating.
anywhere down there.
I'm all set.
It'd be tan.
But let me tell you, when you can be walking on the beach on Christmas morning, and you go, this ain't so bad.
I'd rather be walking
No,
on a
it's
frozen
not.
lake
It's
smoking a pipe.
it's actually good.
I mean, you could
I can smoke my pipe on the beach in
Yeah.
Florida.
for sure. I mean, for me,
Come
me,
back,
it's
have a nice hot cup of cocoa,
it's
apple pie. Oh,
as nice as a cabin in the woods on a lake, and I mean, you can show me all the screensavers that you want. I mean, as nice and as beautiful as that. And again, I would love to vacation to any of those spots, anywhere in Colorado or out in Washington or wherever, Vermont, Maine, way up in New Hampshire, whatever. As nice as those places would be or are. For me, my love and my heart is always going to be in Puerto Rico. I mean, it's just I've experienced so much down there. It's
shining
just
star.
it's just beautiful. I mean, if I could get a smoke shop down there, if I could build
Well, see,
one,
but this is different. This
It'd
is
be over.
vacation. This is vacation.
vacation.
You're talking about retiring.
Oh,
Now, I already said if I retire, it's down
be
there.
in Florida.
If I'm vacationing right now, I'll go unplug in the woods. But if I want to be long term somewhere,
yeah,
I'm with you, man. South. I'll go. I'll open a shop with you.
yeah,
We'll
baby.
open Twin South.
I mean, right on. I mean,
Twins, the Puerto Rico experience.
oh, I mean, for one, I mean they have
What's Spanish for twins?
medio.
Dos.
That's two.
Don't say twins.
I mean, that's two. I mean,
Don't say
still two. It's I
Dulce el Cancer. No, I don't know.
what? What the hell did you just say?
He doesn't know what he said.
You said Dolce El Cancer? Sweet cancer? Like, what? I mean, Puerto Rico has one of the best golf courses in the world. They play a PGA tour down there. I mean, that's where I would set up. That's the number one place that I would want to go. They have the cigar house in Old San Juan. But, I mean,
What
they
about
really...
New San Juan?
They what? No, they don't have anything like that. But I mean, the golf course, you have tourists going there year round. If it's, God forbid, if it's getting, not getting hit by a hurricane or anything. You know what I mean? But I mean, as far as cigars go, I mean, what I think, in my mind, the perfect place would be next to or on the golf course. That would be the place because you have everybody coming from the States that plays golf, and everybody plays golf and smokes cigars and drinks.
You know what blows my mind?
What blows your mind?
Blows my mind that if you just go south of the equator, your January is your summertime.
Well, if
That
you go
blows my mind.
to the equator or south of the equator, your summertime is year round.
Well, I'm just saying, like if you go, South America, when we're in January freezing our tatas off, that's their summer. So
I mean, it's not. I mean,
that's crazy.
well, no, it's
Crazy.
so in Puerto Rico, we went. So a couple years ago, me and my wife went down to Puerto Rico in December, mid-December, and I mean, they treat it like we treat summertime here. Like in the summertime, the beaches are packed. You know, the vendors are out. You know, it's party time. And
But
you go,
when I
wait.
say December to you, what do you think about?
Well, I've lived up here all my life.
Well, that's what I
So
mean.
that's what I
like,
mean.
If you talk
So
to
that's what I'm
someone
saying.
that grew up in like the southern hemisphere,
Right.
you know, you say December to them, they think summer, like instantly. And I just
Well, of
could
course.
it's so hard for me to understand like someone hearing the word December and feeling warm.
Well, that's what
You
it
know what I
is.
mean?
I mean, like
I
people
think
that
that's
live,
messed up.
like people that live, like
Even
when
the
we
word
went.
December, you know, it just sounds cold.
Well, you know what I mean. When we went down in December, I mean, it was kind of business as usual in most places. But I mean, the beaches. I mean, when you go on the beach in December, or even November for that matter, I mean, there's nobody on the beaches because it's not summertime because the schools ain't out. Everybody's got jobs. Everybody still has to go to work. So, I mean, it's business as usual, just like it is up here. And just like up here, if you go to the beach in December or you go to the beach in November or anything like that, there's not going to be anybody there. So, you still get that same feeling, but for us, New
Yeah,
Englanders,
but you're talking about the equator. I'm talking about like if you took New England and you go to the bottom hemisphere, that means like when we're having our summertime, they're having their winter.
what?
Yeah. You didn't know that?
What?
If you you got two halves of the earth and it's tilted, dude, which is the reason why we have seasons in the first place. So when we have our when the northern hemisphere has the summer, the southern hemisphere is having their winter.
So it snows down there and everything.
Yeah, that's winter.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, it's called physics, bro. That's the way it works. That's the way it works. So like if you went down to like, you know, the middle of South America in December, it's summer. Or like if you went to Australia, it's their our winter is their summer because the earth is tilted and it's getting more light. That's how it is. And that blows my mind that like people grow up thinking of December as a summer month. That blows my mind.
Okay. Okay. And that's just not doing.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us tonight. on Not
more
Just
you
Blowing
know.
Smoke. We don't know if Dave was blowing smoke or not, but I'm sure there are people.
We're gonna have
who
to
let
look
us
this
know
up later.
that he was. We'll be back next Monday at 8 o'clock. Thanks for being with us. Make sure you try one of those Red Anchor Gunners or this Steamworks pipe tobacco. Both of them are fantastic. We'll see you next week.
Stay smoky, my friends.
Oh,
You've been listening to Not Just Blowing Smoke, the podcast that brings the wealth of knowledge, expertise, and fun of Twins Smoke Shop, New England's premier smoke shop, right to you, wherever you are, whenever you want it. You can find us at our website, notjustblowingsmoke.com, and keep in touch with us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram at Not Just Blowing Smoke. Thanks for listening, everybody, and that is Not Just Blowing Smoke.